Rhode Island and Massachusetts' experience of using science and collaboration to solve conflicts over their state ocean resources is now being put into action across the entire Northeast region. Representatives from the New England states, Native American tribes, and the federal government are co-leading the regional planning for a marine world stretching 200 miles offshore.
Let's say a potential developer comes in and they have a project in mind and they want to lease a specific area offshore to do that project. The sooner they understand some of the constraints that are out there, and you'd be surprised, no matter where you look out there, there are constraints. And so what it becomes is they can focus their resources on honing into a more realistic area right off the bat. And that can save a lot of time and money and, frankly, heartache. So when you're looking at how to plan for an additional use, in this case offshore renewable energy, the National Ocean Policy is sort of guiding us to work with all constituents to find the best area with the least conflict out there with other uses.
That data is being shared with everyone through the Northeast Ocean Data Portal. Looking through the portal, we see a multitude of ocean uses: disposal sites, unexploded ordnances, pipelines, submerged cables, aquaculture areas, renewable energy zones, turtle migration routes, and whale feeding grounds. Looking through the portal, we see an ocean in need of sharing.
75% of the U.S. goods and services, the imports and exports, are done through our ocean highways. That accounts for about $1.1 trillion worth of goods that come across our borders through the ocean highways. Any disruption to these commercial highways can cause a significant impact to our overall economy as well as the global economy. The Navy's mission is to protect those highways, to make sure that we have access to those highways so we can operate in them safely and transport those goods and services.
Those types of very important uses to our economy need to be planned in a more comprehensive way and in the context of all these other important uses, in addition to the natural resources that we need to be considering on this larger regional scale, like whales, birds, marine mammals, turtles. You really do need to take a step back and look regionally.
If we failed to undertake this work, we would see ever-increasing tensions and conflicts over our oceans, and people finding themselves in very contentious situations, whether it's wind energy projects trying to be built in places where fishing interests don't want to see those things occurring, whether it's other kinds of energy development projects occurring in places where they might interfere with recreational activities or shipping lanes. We're just going to see ever-increasing tensions and conflicts if we don't find a way together to address them. By working together, we have much greater impact. This, in many ways, is about the rights of states. This is very much about states' rights. This is about states being able to sit as equals at the table with the feds and saying, these are our concerns. You need to hear us. We need to address them. And that, I think, is vitally important as well.
In addition to the Northeast, the U.S. National Ocean Policy identified 8 ocean regions: the Mid-Atlantic, the South Atlantic, the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean, the West Coast, Alaska and the Arctic, the Pacific Islands, and the Great Lakes. The National Ocean Policy calls for these regions, if they so choose, to develop a plan for how their offshore waters will be developed or not. It's a plan that calls on everyone's voice.